Hello! Welcome to another Ed stream. I'll be working on a comic tonight, I think. I'll start with some warm up stuff like last time and I'll try to make some progress. We'll see how long it takes, how long I can draw today, but. Sorry. One sec. Do, 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 do. Okay, sorry. Okay. Do, do. So yeah, that's what we'll work on a little bit today. But first, let's start out with some character design. I was gonna try and do some. I was going to do a challenge today, but I just couldn't find anything I wanted to work on regarding that. So that's why I was a little late. Because the only I don't care about these things. This is not a good month for challenges. Ironically, like I thought April would be good, but it's just. I mean, I'm not saying it's bad. It's just not my thing. Ugh. Yeah, none of these look like things I'd enjoy. So, yeah, we'll just see what. I mean, next month is Mermay, so, and there's a couple other things, but yeah, I'll be busy with that. So let's just work on some poses right now, and we'll get into the comic. Just looking for some. That'd be cool too. I haven't done anything with my character in a while, my VTuber, but maybe we'll save that for Friday. So if everyone's doing good, it's been a nice week so far. Been paying a lot of attention to the. I've been really excited about the everything on the moon. The Artemis 2 mission. I've been looking into all that stuff. It's exciting to see where that goes. The first episode of there's a couple episodes up now already, but which had a Atelier is really good. I'm really enjoying it. So definitely recommend it. Really nice art style. It's got kind of like a very. It's definitely kind of dark, so just to warn you, but very kind of Ghibli kind of feel to it in a way. Kind of like Howl's Moving Castle in a way, I suppose. Like how much care is put into like the landscape as much as the people. For these warm-ups, I'm just working on like mostly the fabric, trying to get it right. Because as I said last week, I'm just trying to get better at that. I love how sensitive these new brushes are. With this new update, like they really improved how they respond. Like, especially if you're someone who comes from a traditional background, it's nice having these brushes. Like, kind of feel more like how like graphite or ink would respond to light touch. I mean, yeah, like light pressure. There's a couple of returning anime this month, so it's been kind of hard finding time for everything. Just gonna like watching what I can when I can find time. Also, wish I could have time to work to play that game, Crimson Desert, but it's a little pricey right now, so I'm gonna wait for it to go down. It looks good. I'm really surprised. Like, there's already like mods that are letting you have even more customization features with your character, which is really cool. So it's even closer to Skyrim now than it was even when it was released. But even better because obviously, in some ways, because it's got really good combat. Oops. These are not long enough. If that's there, then can't draw the muscles. I think I made the arm too long, but that's okay. Be right back. It's in the drink. Yeah. Okay. Back to work. Oops. I totally messed up the anatomy here. Oh, because I made the dress too long. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I did. So I made a little more progress on the VTuber model. I found out. Well, I made a couple different things. I redrew the my antlers because I wanted to make them a little more rendered. So we'll see if I like it. If we don't, I can always just modify them back to closer to what they look like. But I'm trying something else. It's not a major change. It's just I'm shifting them a little bit so that they kind of have more of a dragon-like look than like the beginning of ram's horns that just turn into antlers kind of look what they have now. So I thought I would just clean that up tonight a little bit too. Not in here. Those are coming. I'm not happy with those. Or that. Not with that one anyway. Let's do some action ones and then I'll get to work. Sorry, I'm not feeling as talkative today. Up, that's okay. This one's less of a fabric one and more of anatomy, but just thought I'd add one of these in here. Oops. Here's two. Maybe with it being Mermaid next month, I'll try and find some story. Maybe, one fun thing, maybe since I've been so quiet lately, maybe try and find some stories to read in the while I'm drawing. Might be kind of fun. Try and do something like that, or fun like some ancient folklore to read while I'm around mermaids. Yeah, I'll try to find something like that. Because I've been like altering my diet and everything, and my energy's just all over the. It's kind of just a bit all over the place. Plus, I'm not sleeping great. But this is really bad. It's okay. It was worth a shot. I was trying to do some foreshortening on another drawing, but it didn't come out great. So I'll do one more. I'm gonna do a male figure. Let's do. Just looking for a good pose. Oh, wait, I know. Wait, oh no, did I? Let me see if I deleted that, because I was trying to make space on my hard drive, and I think I might have gotten rid of this, but we'll see if I did. Yeah, I did. Oh well. Well, let's see if it's here, though. This'll do. I found some. Yeah, this is good. Yeah, this is cool. Oops. Do 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 do. I'm going to exaggerate this one a little bit just for fun. Why am I having trouble with heads today? Oops. Sorry. Okay, let's get into the drawing. I just wanted to warm up a little bit. This one's not. Let's work on a different page. Do, 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 do. Work on this one actually. This is one where there's some good panels and some. Smaller. And here he's sparring with her to try and help her build up her confidence after the defeat with the bounty hunters. I'm just glad I remembered to close some of the close some of these windows, because I had my drawing for my VTuber on the screen before I started, and I was like, "Oop, don't want them to see that." Not yet, anyway. So, I'm trying to think if I want. trying to think if I like this pose. Maybe I shouldn't be thinking too hard. I mean, it's still telling the story, so as long as it's doing that, it should be okay. I just... Yeah, let's try something else. I'm not going to delete it, but I am going to just try a different pose here, see if I like something better. I might change the, since the last panel was kind of a conversation between the two of them, I might start with her inner monologue kind of while he's preparing to attack. Because I had, this one's kind of starts off more like that, so maybe like a kind of like a standoff between them, kind of back and forth, kind of. Or like first it's going, her checking him out really carefully. Let's make sure she's ready for his attack. But then I gotta fix the second panel, but that's okay. Sorry. Snorted. Maybe on Friday I'll do some work on the animatic actually. Since I'm working on this today. We'll see. Or maybe I'll just do a mix. Well, let's work on the animatic on Friday. Because I would like to get further with that too. Today can just be this. I don't have so much energy today. Should have eaten before I started. That would have been smart. Get something after this. Having second thoughts on this. I think maybe it's just like it's taking up too much space. Maybe if I make it smaller, it might be better. See, I don't like this composition at all. I don't know how people talk while they do this. Oh, whoops. Wait, what's that? Oh, because. Wait, is it? Okay. Wait. Oh, it is. Okay. Sorry. I was like, is that really in? I wonder if I just don't like the pose, really. How do I fix the pose, though? Just a reminder for people who watch this later, I based Richard off of a character from a Miyazaki film, Nausicaa Valley of the Wind. I think his name was Omu the Sword Master or the Blade Master. Yeah, something like that. And played by Patrick Stewart, and it was a really cool character. An old, like one of those rare times you get to see like an old character, like an elderly or like not, yeah, like getting into elderly years character who's just really adapted his skill and is really powerful, even though and no one treats him like an old person, even though he clearly is. But like they're more scared of him because he's got a reputation as like he's survived this many battles, so he's someone to watch out for. And he also had he had more like a beard, a much bigger, like I think he had a beard more like a mustache, kind of like that. Because they had that, and their eyebrows were kind of more like floofy, like that, kind of like boop boop boop. So I changed him to have a little bit harder edges, more like a Bruce Timm character, like Batman, kind of. But then this loose hair, which was in the original illustration, so it's not like that was new. That was, he always had that. I kind of just made it even more loose. I kind of gave him more of a like a Sam Winchester kind of hairstyle. I don't really know what, other than that fact, I don't know what really made me choose that. I think I just kind of liked how it looked. Let's see what happens if I just pose it this way, but have them facing. Let's see how this looks. No, that's not right. Sometimes it's good to be more scratchy at the beginning of a drawing. Plus, I kind of just remembered that the perspective shifts, so you just gotta remember that, like, everything changes when you change thing, right? Am I dumb? Yes, I think I am dumb. I'm dumb. I might have to redo that other page. I'm not sure. Because I think I jumped the gun on showing him conjure his weapon. Like, I think it should be... Unless I do it here, maybe. Maybe this is less of a Maybe she's kind of like thinking about what his weapon does here while she's trying to plan out how to maneuver this fight. That's just a thought. See, what I like about this page is this panel here. I'm gonna get this cleaned up a little bit more with a blur effect, but she actually, oops, my hand's in the way. I apologize. I'll zoom in a little bit so you can see it better. See, like, she's learning to use. Oh, hello. Thanks for dropping by. Just been working on my comic. Thank you. Yeah, this is my comic, Raising the Bard. I'm working on a page where the father and daughter are in a sparring session. She recently had her confidence, like, she took a hit, essentially. Like, there was this surprise attack they were pulled into because these bounty hunters thought they were someone else, and then she got jumped, and now she's done some studying and has refined her skills, and her dad's just like, okay, show me what you got. And she's, well, more, she actually saw her dad come back. I'll show you the page. I think I got it. Anyway, she came back from he came back, and she's just like, okay, let's go outside and do some sparring, because he looked like he was pretty stressed out. I think I got it. I'll get it. Yeah, I usually like work on this, or I work on art challenges. But oh, here's a panel from the fight. Actually, I was really proud of this one. It came out pretty good. Yeah, this is her. Like right after she got knocked down, like this pixie was holding her hostage, and or her father was fighting the other bounty hunter, and she just, I thought this one came out pretty cool. She just like blasted her right in point blank with her magic. In this first panel, I really like, because it makes me think of like Samurai. I was thinking like Samurai Jack, kind of, where he's this character. This other guy's like a Irish werewolf, so he's got like a ability to turn into a werewolf on cue, but he can also like make spirit copies of himself, and that's what he's blowing up here, are like all these like projections of him that are werewolves. So. See if I can find the other. Oh, here's what I was working. Let's see. Here's the page I was working on. Thank you. Yeah, I'm really proud of that one. This one needs, what I'm going to show you needs more refining, but I'm starting to work on like yeah, this is the beginning of their fight, but where it's revealed, he realizes that This is gonna be like the beginning where he sees that she's revealing that she's got a familiar, because he's like, he knew there was something up about her guitar, that was there was more to it than meets the eye, but he couldn't confirm it until she actually did this, and he's like, oh, okay, well, that's what I need to make it transparent though. But this is kind of the process. I start out really rough and then I refine, which is why this comic's taking a while. But that's why I end up with pages like this, because I take my time and I kind of like just think it through and try and come up with cool effects based on shows I like inspired by both Japanese and American animation, like I was saying earlier, with like Bruce Timm for American, and then Miyazaki, like Studio Ghibli for Japanese. So because like the father's based around a character from Nausicaa Valley of the Wind, kind of. And she's I'm not sure what I think she just kind of like, this whole comic came from one drawing. Yeah, I'm really happy with this one. I'll show you another really cool one that came up. Let's see. Oh, here's another good one with this is the beginning of the fight with the werewolf. These take a second to load, obviously, because they're like a lot of layers. But yeah, like he tries to, they get like transported into the middle of these woods, and then all of a sudden just like instantly like pounced upon, and like. And the fun thing is, I made this werewolf so that he's not your like brute. He's actually really intelligent, which I always like those kind of characters where it's like what was that one character? I'm trying to think. That's because Grundy's not that, but essentially, like, you're like highly, actually, kind of like that the caveman from Freakazoid is maybe what I'm even thinking of, where it's like a really smart but also strong character, where they kind of can like shift in between the two, and that's kind of those are always kind of fun to write. And then the pixie girl is a little bit more of your like highly impulsive and explosive at times, but very strong character. Yeah, like these two are really fun to draw. I love drawing. The father is Richard. They're the Richard and June Steele song, and I love drawing Richard's mustache. It's just it does make expressions a little difficult, but I don't care. It just makes me smile drawing that mustache. And June's just fun to draw in general. I don't know what it is. I think it's because of her hair. I like drawing that kind of like loose, wild hair that she's got. But yeah, it's fun kind of just coming up with ways to like show June's magic, since she's trying to become a bard, like her grandmother before her. And because the whole premise of the story is actually that they found out that there's a calamity that's about to happen, like where her mother is working in this like national preserve kind of area that was like cordoned off and for research, because it's been highly affected by the previous fairy invasion, and like it's been like terraformed, and it's starting to like there's like new species there, and her mother's an alchemist, and she's trying to like stabilize these creatures so that they can not continue to mutate into bigger monsters. And but unfortunately, because of the storm, it's going to like open up like a crack in reality that she could get pulled into, and gets pulled into the fairy realm. Or it could just like, if it doesn't do that, it could do even worse things. Like it could like shoot out even more like energy and then speed up the mutations and even hit her mother, which would be equally as bad or worse. So it's kind of like a Lord of the. It's like The Hobbit meets Dante's Inferno, kind of, because it's like a journey, but it's also like a natural disaster movie put together. Because you don't really see disaster situations with fantasy as much. So I thought that'd be a fun area to try out. Because all the like all the comic writing channels that I listen to always say it's good to try and find a niche that you can fit yourself into, and like that isn't being a need that isn't being fulfilled, because like I could easily just make another like action or like slice of life comedy, which ironically was what I was going to do before I made this comic, but that story just wasn't as refined. So even though this one's still a little rough on the edges on the story wise, I figured it would be better because it's more unique. Plus, I mean, once I created Richard, I had to make this story. I'm like, I have to finish this one way or another. I really want to see where where Richard and June end up. And I've had people be like, "Oh, he." One spoiler I'll say is he probably won't, because I like Richard so much. He probably won't die because I like him too much for that. And the whole point a big part of the story is family, so I just can't see that as a possibility. That does not mean that bad things won't happen to them, but I don't think I'm going to do that to them. I don't want a Joel from Fallout situation. Although, I think people are going to like Richard way more than Joel, because I thought Joel was kind of a little bit of a untrustworthy person by the end of that game. But Richard's kind of got a bit of a backstory to him too, which will be like talked about throughout the story, where but the nice thing is it's not going to be one of those like she finds out everything and is like, how could you hide this from me? She knows a lot about him, but she might not know the depths of what happened to him, and it might be more of a like sympathy story than a like, how could you, I'm not going to talk to you kind of situation. It's more of a like, how did you walk around with this kind of trauma story? Because there's also, again, there's plenty of those, and I'd like to make this character a little more unique than just like what's been done before. And not even that I'm saying that's a bad thing, because I just feel like I could point to other characters for that kind of thing. So. And it's more fun this way, too. To be like, he's this cool character, he's got a backstory, and he's been through a lot, because he's kind of like in the past invasion, he was part of this like Black Ops team. So got a lot of hidden stories involving that, like not everything was a victory and that kind of stuff. It was war. It wasn't. It wasn't all wins. And even when it wasn't always glorious. That kind of stuff. But yeah, these two are really fun. And then I'll show you what the mother looks like, actually, because I didn't do that. But I can bring her up really quick. Character sheets. Bam. There she is. That's Grace Steelsong. And she's going to have a side story, like a B story in this, where she's trying to save this little dinosaur. Because she finds... And that was actually inspired because I did a drawing of a huge think. Let me see if I can find it. I did this big drawing of a like a mutated T-Rex, and then I was like, wouldn't it be cool if she just like, here it is. She finds this thing in the forest and realize and realizes how much pain it's in, and she has like this like mission. She doesn't know about the calamity that's heading her way. Like her and her assistant are basically just trying to do all this research, and they find this T-Rex and then realize that it's like in pain, and that they try and like stabilize it, and then they find its little infant and make it their mission to keep this little thing safe. But yeah, mainly because I just like during this I thought, wouldn't it be so cool to do like a Doctor Who kind of thing of like, what if, like there was that episode of Doctor Who where there was that spaceship that had dinosaurs. Wouldn't it be cool if like what would happen if like not, people aren't the only things that get spirited away to the fairy realm? What would happen if dinosaurs went to the fairy realm and then mutated there to like retain their shape, but like take on new aspects, and also like being fairy folk now, they live longer, so these are creatures from hundreds of millions of years, but like now that they're partly fae, they can live even longer. So I thought that would be really fun. Plus, they have it just adds so many more like body shapes when you do that. I think because like I love drawing dragons, but I think even Monster Hunter shows you that like when you take from like real creatures, it really adds a lot more to like fantasy creatures. Like an Anjarath was a real is like, I think that's kind of the reason I even got into Monster Hunter, was because of that monster, and it's basically a T-Rex that breathed fire. I'm like, you have my attention. But yeah, let's get back to our page that we were working on. I would like to figure out this, but I think I'm just going to lower the opacity on the spirit behind her. It's essentially like this like fox spirit, like a forest creature, like a forest spirit that looks kind of like it's got like a fox mask on, and it's kind of like a mischievous spirit, like a. I'm trying to decide. It usually has a violin, but I wasn't sure if I wanted to show that in the first appearance of it. I was going to show it from his point of view as more like this like chaotic, strange, like animalistic almost. And then when you see it later, it will be more human-like, is what I'm thinking. Because right after this fight, he's pretty much like, that's a pretty interesting little sidekick you got there, but you better go talk to her and work things out. So he like sends her on like a solo mission, well, where he's like, we'll split up here for a second because you know where we're heading, and we'll meet up there, but you need to go talk to your familiar so that you can like figure out how to like coordinate better. It's like, she should have been able to help you a lot more in that first ambush, but you're not on the same page. Man, I love that one.